Incoming customer detected.
Hello, my friends. Welcome once again, my fellow passengers of the night, to a game stream with a blind guy. I am Ira Robinson. Tonight we are going to be playing This Land Is My Land. We're starting it off with a brand new game. It's a game I'm very familiar with and I've played quite a bit of, and I thought I'd share it with all of you guys as well. So we're going to start a brand new resistance tonight. We are going to start the Legend of Kana, and I hope that you guys are going to enjoy it. This is a very interesting game. It's a survival open world with a little bit of real-time strategy elements to it. It's kind of a very hard game to put your fingers on, really. But we'll go ahead and get things started and see what happens here. So I got in here while I was looking for an opportunity to join a great warrior named, and we will go, of course, with Kana. So when you first start this game, you have to choose your name, and you can choose any name that you wish, and then you can choose the symbol, the animal, the spirit animal that best represents your personage, your chief, your warrior that you're going to be trying to win your land back with. So there are otter, wolf, eagle, beaver, deer, woodpecker, salmon, bear, raven, snake, owl, and goose. The further over to the right that you go, the more wild things get. So for instance, if you have otter as your choice and you use the name Kana, then you'll have 2 extra warriors added to your resistance at the beginning of the game. The interesting thing with this game is that each month, starting on the first day of each month, the naming conventions and the randomness that happens with the naming convention actually changes. So if you were to choose otter and the name Kana, and you did it again at the beginning of next month, you would have a different set of traits that would be your starting benefit and penalties. The further over to the right you go, the more benefits you'll receive, but also the more penalties you'll likely receive as well. So for instance, again, otter has +2 warriors. If you were to choose the wolf, you'd have a starting with 1,981 skill points. Skill points are very important in this game. It is how you get access to new skills and new crafting and that sort of thing. However, it's not something that's hard to come by. So 1,982 skill points, yes, it would give you something to start off with, but honestly, that is really not enough to make a difference with choosing wolf as your starting spirit guide. If you were to choose eagle, for instance, then you'd have an extra 16 weight and some skill points as well. The weight benefit is definitely a good one. You want to have more carry weight so that you can be able to get items from the loot back to your villages. But 16, that's a not bad amount. So I chose the name Kana because if you go with goose with this particular name, then you're going to have, as you can see, starting health regeneration passive, and we'll get into that as the game progresses as well. Improved spyglass active, 99 extra weight. So 99 carry weight added to your character is a fair amount. You can definitely get by you can get a lot of extra items back to your camps with 99 weight added to it. Now, the downside of choosing Goose with this particular name is that you're going to lose 70 off of your total stamina, and 3 warriors are not going to be there when you start the game. the warriors part of things, there's if you were to choose this one, for instance, let's see, that's less health. You definitely don't want to go with less health. Trying to see maybe if there is. Nope, not with this particular name. But if you were to choose one, for instance, that had minus warriors and lowest level camp, that's not really that big of a deal. Your camps can be upgraded rather rapidly in the game, and your warriors, while they're important to the things that you're going to be doing in the game, you will get warriors pretty rapidly as well. So having 3 off of the start, not that big a deal. Let's go ahead and confirm this though, and his camp is located. Now here's where you can make things a little bit more difficult for yourself. Quite far from the frontier, he prefers to grow his strength before entering into open warfare. Rather close to the frontier, he understands the danger, but brave warrior knows what to do. Right inside the bee's nest, he isn't running from any danger, even from death. So the more difficult you make your start, the more likely you are to encounter the settlers, who are going to be causing a lot of issues, not only for you, but any villages that you might try to start or try to become allied with as the game progresses. It becomes much more difficult to do things in that way. So we're just going to go with the normal start. And this is going to get pretty loud. I'm sorry for the noise here, but it is unfortunately what it is when it comes to this game. There's this little beginning section is pretty loud. So here you go. We're coming to get rescued, I think. So as we get started in this game, I will kind of treat it a little bit like a tutorial. I have played this game a lot. I have quite a few hours involved with it. In fact, I also have the Founders Pack for it, which is... it's not too big of a deal. It gives you a really nice bow that you can work with, but also gives you extra skill points and extra of the trading tokens and that kind of thing that you're going to make use of as the game progresses. But it's not absolutely necessary to the game. It's just a little bit of a bonus that you can get with it. But I do have quite a few hours played in the game, and I figure I can maybe help give people a little bit of a start if they're not totally familiar with the game or sometimes have a bit of a difficult time getting things going. But our escape was quite rushed. I had to leave without a weapon. Good thing I found some wood along the roadside. Now I have all I need to craft a wooden bow and wooden arrows. How long has it been since I've been crafting on my own? Yeah, pretty much. My my other camps that I have, or my other resistances that I have, I do have quite a bit more more to work with, I guess you could say, than when just starting out. So yeah, here's the game. Now I will say this game is probably one of the prettier games that's out there, and it's interesting because this is developed entirely by an independent publishing company, and this is, I believe, actually the only game that they're making. And if I remember right, they're Danish. So it's kind of interesting to have a video game based on Native American motif created by Danish people. But they've done it well. They've done a really good job, I think, with the game so far. They just added the survival update to make things a lot more difficult. We're not going to play it in that heavier, hardcore survival mode. To be honest, I think it needs a little bit of tweaking. Right now, it's a bit much. The food and drink and tiredness sort of thing that's associated with the survival part of it is okay, but I think they need to work on the damage model a little bit, because when you are getting shot at, for instance, you can have bleeding, and you can bleed out really rapidly, and there seems like there's nothing that you can do about it. Yes, there are some things that you can do, like consumables that you can use to help solve the issue, but it's very difficult to work with. And like I said, I just think that they need to tweak it slightly so that the damage from bleeding and that sort of thing is toned down at least a little bit. Now, not a lot, but at least a little bit. So I'm going to get things started here a little bit. I'm going to put on my war paint. This is your inventory here. You have crafting that's available, war paints that are available. This is your quest objectives, your skills, and the social meter. And as you can see, I already have a few things in my social stuff. I sell items on the market and stuff. So this is just sellable items that I've fed from my other resistances. I will, while I am right here, go ahead and grab the Ancestor's Bow. This is one of the things that you can get when you get the Founders Pack. You get an Ancestor's Bow. This Ancestor's Bow is really nice. It's absolutely not 100% necessary. It's not like completely game changing or anything. It just makes things a little bit easier to work with. And the nice thing is that this actually will be recreated and available again in about 2 hours from now. So yeah, it's kind of nice. So it got delivered into the camp that I've got started here, Tamashan. So I'll go ahead and take that, and that is now my bow. So anyways, war paints are an important aspect of gameplay. The war paints that you choose to use will make a difference in what happens in the game for you. So each of the war paints does something different. This one here is an Ancestor's Vermilion. If you put on all of the items, you get extra forest camouflage, plains camouflage, more map visibility, and a lowered amount of time to intimidate enemies. That's a pretty nice one. This one actually came with the Founders Pack. This one as well came with the Founders Pack, the Ancestors Graphite. This one I don't ever use. It's okay, but I don't know. One of them that I like to use, I've got a few of them. A few of them actually come with when you start off a resistance, and you can buy more war paints in the store using skill points and trading tokens, and they refresh. I think it's every 2 days. It'll put in a new set of war paints, and they're randomized with what you get. So for instance, you could buy the Mystic Wolf's Vermilion, which actually is pretty nice. That's not too bad. 16 meter extra detect enemies radius, extra carry weight, extra health, heal wounds. That's a pretty nice one actually. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the War Coyote Ash, and I'm going to put some in my hair, my head, and my body. And there we go. So this, as you can see, it will give animal reaction chance. So that means that wolves, bears, deer, any animals that are in the game, you could walk right up to them and they won't pay any attention to you until you attack them. This also gives -1 second to intimidation, 60% extra health after you rest, extra to the heal wounds. And the nice thing right here is you do have a health regeneration of 0.6 health per second when you have this full set on. It's one that was for sale one day, and I thought, hey, I'll grab it. It's pretty cool. I'm also going to tweak my appearance here just a little bit. I'm not planning on using rifles and that sort of thing. I do like the bow in the game, and I like how it functions. So I'll take off the look of the bow stuff. So yeah, that looks pretty good. I think we'll stick with that for our character's look. So when you start the game, it starts you off with basically a little bit of a quest. And I think I did forget, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the objectives, just so that we can see and you guys can be able to track things a little bit easier there. Make sure all the other settings are correct. Yeah, everything else should be good. So there we go. So now we have the objectives. So our objective, it's basically just kind of walking you through a little tutorial. So you got to create a bow and some arrows. You can do that into crafting. As you can see right now, we don't have any skill points at all. But when you craft things, you gain skill points. So I'll get 2 skill points for creating a bow and 1 skill point for creating arrows. Although I don't have enough of the goodies for it, I'm going to have to collect wood, I think. Let me see here. What am I missing? Oh, no. There we go. It was just not done creating the other one, I see. Okay, this small amount of arrows will not be enough for a proper resistance. No, they most certainly won't. I must look for some hickory. So, we'll have to go find some hickory, and we should be able to find that over in here somewhere. There should be some around. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find it, and sometimes even though you have the objective set to show, it doesn't always automatically do that. So I'll just go ahead and like turn it off and back on again, basically. Yeah, okay, so basically it's telling you about saving your game. You can only save the game at a campfire, whether that is at one of your camps, or if you are out in the wilderness, you can also find lean-tos that have a campfire with them, and you can create the, do your save at that point. So, yes, thank you, I know about the items. So there's no hickories around here. That's kind of funny. We'll have to wander a little bit. You know, in fact, while we're here at the camp, I am going to go ahead and choose one of my horses. So the cool thing with this game is that when you have a horse, like when you start off, you can find a horse that you want to have as your own. So these are camp horses. Any of the warriors that are here in the camp can make use of the horses that are here. But I'm going to go ahead and he's a pretty one. I'm going to go ahead and did not mean to mount him. I'm going to go ahead and make a bond with this one, and this will now become officially my horsey. So you can choose the way that they look with their fur. And let's see. Yeah, we can go. Yeah, we'll go with the white one, I think. Yeah, he looks good there. And then let's choose. Let's see. Yeah, we can go with a darker mane color for him. The saddle. Sure, we'll do that one. And then his paint, you can choose to have basically the war paints on them if you wish. Yeah, that looks good. Now you can also name your horse. So just like how your name gave you benefits and penalties at the beginning, so too can your horse. So let's see. What will Liana give us? Liana will give us a bigger bag size, and that's actually not bad. You can have a random chance to get either more health, more speed, or a bigger bag. And there are some names, it's very, very rare to find, but there are some names that will actually give you 2 out of the 3 bonuses. But again, I'm not going to sit here for an hour trying to figure out what name to give the horse. So we'll just go with Liana. Liana is now going to be permanently our horse. So we can go ahead and jump on Liana here, and let's go. Oh, well, right. Go figure. There's a hickory like right here in the middle of the camp. So we'll go ahead and grab that. We have to grab a few of them here. So we'll kind of hunt down a couple more. If you hold down the shift key, is how you sprint, and you can also do that with your horse. Your horse will go into a run. Now, be warned that if you do sprint with the horse, it's real easy for your horse to get hurt if you hit a rock or something like that. It will sometimes make the horse actually like fall off the rock, and yeah, it can hurt your horse. So you just kind of want to watch where you're going a little bit. So it's not efficient to gather all these resources on my own, especially if I wish to build new camps and expand my territory. It'd be a good idea to send some warriors to gather flax. Yes, indeed. So how you do this is you go to your, you hit tab to go into your inventory area. And if you click on either your camp in the map screen itself or over here on the side, you can also click on the list of camp names here. When you do that, you can bring up their inventory. So this is the camp's inventory right here. Obviously, they don't have anything in the camp yet. You can put items into the camp from your inventory. So for instance, I can put down the buckbrush that I had picked up, some of the flax, some of the wood. So those are now in the camp. You can have an unlimited amount of items and an unlimited amount of weight in your camps, which is really nice. So, but while you're here in the camp screen, you can go to orders and you can click on add order, and this will send warriors to complete a project in some kind of way. So for instance, when it pops up here, you see how it says wooden arrow. I can set this for them to make as many as I tell them to do, and they will basically go out and do that until they have reached whatever your setting is. So again, if you put it as, I don't know, 63, then they will make arrows until they reach having 63 arrows in storage. And also, if you were to take some of those 63, then they would go back out again to make more arrows until there is once again 63 arrows there. So this can be used for crafting items as well as gathering items. So when you click this button, you can have them make wooden bows until they have as many wooden bows as you set to have. If you were to set it to be, I don't know, fireweed leaf, then they would go out and find fireweed leaf until they reached that amount. That's important to know. It's important to understand, because there are times where you'll be playing the game and you will simply have so much trouble because of the way that the spawn of the enemies has worked. They could be completely overrunning all of your people, all of your villages. You'd be having so many troubles. Believe me, I've been there. That you just get to the point where you're like, you know what, screw it, I have to start a new game. You can use certain resistances that you work with. Let's see, we got to be careful here of these rocks. You can use some of your resistances that you have created and run for a little while to be what are called feeder resistances or feeder chiefs, and those you can run for a little while, gather the items, and then mail to yourself so that you can have them available in another one of your games. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to save the game here real quick, and that way it's got everything updated. And let's go ahead and again, we're going to give an order to this camp. Let's see, what's it getting? Flax. So we'll have to give orders, add item, and flax. Look for flax in the list. And we'll do, I don't know, we'll do 10. That's fine. So we'll confirm it. And now the tutorial part of this part is done. So while my warriors are gathering the most important resource, at least for now, I can spend time setting up crafting and gathering orders, things my warriors can work on later. So many important things to do. Yeah, it certainly is a lot of things. So this is the sort of RTS portion of things, the strategy gaming sort of portion of it. Chief, the bastards who jailed me broke up and burned my old camp. It lies just a short distance away from here. My camp loot was hidden well. I doubt they found it. You must go and look for it. I collected a lot of useful items. Sound interesting? I will go there. So yeah, we'll head there in just a moment. I'm going to do this a little bit quickly off screen here. I'm going to set up some of the camp orders that are, I think, pretty essential, and I'll be right back after I get that done. So there is one thing that I forgot to mention. When it comes to getting the orders set up and everything, your warriors will only be able to do the things that you yourself know how to do. So, for instance, I want them to start creating hunter bows and arrows, because those are way more powerful than wooden bows and wooden arrows. Wooden bows and wooden arrows, frankly, suck. However, I cannot do that because, as you can see in the list, they don't exist in the list. That is because I don't yet know myself how to craft those items. So to learn it, we do have 1100 skill points. That's what it gave us for completing those first tutorial things. So if we go to craft up here in the top part of the menu, you can see the items that we currently know how to craft, and you can see there are a lot of items that are in the game that you can eventually learn how to craft and make use of. So if you click under bows, there are different types of bows. So there's the war bow, the sinew-backed bow, hunter's bow, all of that kind of stuff. And you're going to see here as well that there are color-coded type things right here. So anything that's kind of an orangish color, that's a low-quality item. Green is a high quality, and white is a regular quality. You'll also see the amount of things at the bottom of the list there that it's going to take to create this item once you have learned how to make the item. So it doesn't maybe say directly how much wood, sinew, and stag's horn it's going to use to create those. Those will show after you've learned the crafting item. However, you can at least see what it takes. One of the first things I learned how to do is the hunter's bow. The sinew-backed bow, also you can see, uses arrows and medium arrows. Those are the only arrow types that it knows how to use. If you go to arrows, you're going to see there are a lot of different arrow types that you can learn, including toxic, exploding, noise making, and that sort of thing. Different bows are able to fire different arrows. So the wooden bow, for instance, can only do the wooden arrows and the stun arrows. And as you can see, the wooden arrows only do 36 damage. If you go to the hunter's bow, that one can do arrows, stun arrows, and sound arrows. So just like the wooden bow, it can do stun arrows too, but it'll do 85 damage with arrows. So a far better weapon, and really not inefficient to make. So wooden bow takes wood and flax. Hunter's bow takes wood and sinew. Sinew is pretty easy to get hold of, so your warriors can make the hunter's bow pretty effectively. So in order to learn how to craft an item, you have to open up the recipe by hovering over the item and click on learn. And as you can see, this is going to take 500 skill points to learn how to make the hunter's bow. Each of them take a different amount. So the war bow, 1600 skill points. It can use heavy arrows for 170 damage, but it can't do stun arrows. The reason why I'm mentioning the stun arrows is because stun arrows are a very effective way of controlling the settlers without damaging too much your reputation. And reputation plays a big part in this game if you have reputation turned on. You can start the game without reputation turned on, but I have it set to on. So how reputation works is the different things that you do in the game will have an impact on how other warriors as well as the settlers treat you and look at you. If you have a good reputation, it's kind of hard to see it now because we don't have any, but right now we don't have any name and no reputation. Your name, your fame basically appears on this side. Your reputation appears on this side. The higher your reputation is, it used to be called the karma system. I think now it's just called reputation. But the more positive reputation you have, the when you do things, more warriors will join your villages. The settlers will not advance as quickly. They will not come and invade your territory as quickly. And they will also not jail your people as frequently. So the worse reputation you have, if you have a bad rep, then you will see that they will expand their territory much more rapidly. They will be more likely to be highly aggressive towards the villages that you have, and you will have a much rougher time, frankly. And it also will have an impact on how animals treat you too, because with a very bad reputation, you'll just be wandering in the wilderness and suddenly you'll have a group of bears come and attack you and that kind of thing. So, it can make your life a fairly large amount more complicated than it needs to be if you have a really bad reputation. You get a bad reputation by killing settlers, killing horses, and that sort of thing. Mistreating your warriors, anything along those lines will give you bad reputation. However, if you go to, like, let's say for instance, we're probably going to go take this out first. This right here is wood gatherers that have basically come here to work. We'll probably go and try to take them out first because they're the nearest and dearest to where we're currently at. If we were to go there and use, say, for instance, stun arrows, or we were able to intimidate them, which you'll see me doing, and essentially getting them stoned out of their gourds, frightening them to death, and making them go away, that will actually give you more skill points, number one, because it takes more skill to do that than just pump a bunch of arrows into somebody. But it will also give you an improved reputation with your people, which will give you more warriors joining your camps. It will give you more of a chance when you encounter a neutral camp to be able to get them to join with your resistance. You can go to a trading post and be more likely to actually get them to trade with you and not be hostile. There's a lot of different benefits that come to it. And so we're probably going to try to play with as good of a reputation as we can this time around. Anyways, so let me go ahead and get the skill points set up and the orders set up, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, well, that took a little bit of time, but we got it all done. And as you can see, I do have some items that are in here. I did send myself some items from one of my feeder resistances just to kind of simplify the process a little bit, so I could show you guys kind of the importance of having a feeder campaign. You can give your resistances just a little bit of a head start. It really doesn't make much of a difference in the long run, quite frankly, because your warriors will be doing a lot of the work as you're out doing things, but it does simplify the process a little bit. So what I did was I set the items up that I feel are the most important for my warriors to be able to grab, at least that I know at the moment, and I'll go into that here in a second. But I wanted to show you guys the thing that you can do is, as you set up the items, you can prioritize things in the order of importance. So for instance, I would like them to make arrows a lot more than I want them to try to gather some flax. So I can hit the prioritize button, and that will bring it to one level higher. So again, with the hunter's bow, rope, basically everything. But this is, again, the order of importance. I'm going to prioritize meat because meat is extremely important for your warriors as well. And then the rest basically can just come as they get the chance to do things. But there is this button right here called Order Sets. If you click on this, you're going to see that right now there's nothing in there. However, what I can do is do a name in here such as starter and click on save, and this will save whatever you have listed here with the numbers and everything into this order set. So now if I start another camp, or if I run across a neutral camp and I take them over, so on and so forth, I can simply come in here into the orders area. Instead of the inventory, I can come over here to the orders area, and I can click on order sets and then click on add items, and it will then propagate this list with whatever I have in that order set. It's pretty nice. It makes it so that once you get things set up, you can just hit that button and it makes things a lot more simplified. So this button right here, this one is a little bit hard to see. And I did not notice for a long time that it even existed. But you can set so that the amount of warriors that remain in your camp to guard it are of a certain number. So you can prioritize that this camp is going to have more guards in it to maintain peace. If you're in a zone that the settlers are really surrounding, you can have those guards remain there in case the settlers try to come in and clear out your camp. It makes things a lot better. So I'm going to put this wooden bow into the camp because I certainly don't need that. I'm going to put these arrows into the camp because I definitely don't need that. My warriors can have that if they want to grab it. However, I will go ahead and grab out some arrows. I'll just go ahead and take like, I don't know, 50 arrows, I guess. My main thing is I'm going to take these stun arrows because I love stun arrows. I love how it works, and I'm going to take 125 of those. So as you can see, my total weight capacity is 139. I can up that later on by skills. My stamina is super low, but again, I can upgrade that with my skill points, and that's because we started off with that 139 less stamina or whatever it was. My health, however, is at 500, so that's really nice. Gonna go into skills here, and I'm going to go ahead and upgrade some of the skills that I feel are, well, that I can afford. So when you start the game, you're going to have a very low amount of skill points to be able to work with, and a lot of skills that you're going to want to have. As you can see right here, health regeneration 4, I already know because that was one of the starting things that came with this particular name. And believe me, having that high health regeneration is really nice to have. I can give myself stamina regeneration. I can also right there increase my stamina by 25. So having 35 stamina is actually pretty decent. It's not bad at all to work with. So and one thing to notice, you see how it says increases maximum stamina by 25 for stamina 1, and then stamina 2 says increases maximum stamina by 30. That actually, it's kind of written a little bit weird, but in reality, what would end up happening if you were to get stamina 1 and stamina 2 is your total stamina would be increased by 55. So it actually will give you that amount of stamina, not increase it by that maximum, like overriding what was there previously. It's the same with health as well. So if I was to take health 1, I would get 45. Health 2 would give me another 72 on top of that 45 that I had already taken, and it's the same for your backpack capacity too. So just wanted to make sure to mention that because I did not discover that for a long time, so I kind of like ignored this. It's like, why am I going to spend that many skill points on only increasing it by 5 points, that doesn't really seem to make much of a difference. But in reality, it actually makes a pretty good amount of difference. So there are different skills that you can work with. The chief skills are, I think, probably one of the most important skills, because again, when you have your orders in place for your warriors to do things, it goes based on whatever your chief skills are. So as you can see in the inventory, for instance, I have some bear claws, I have some buffalo pelts and that kind of thing, bear pelts and all of that. My warriors in this camp right here will not be able to gather those things because they do not have the ability to gather those things. They get that ability by you doing the chief skills, such as this one right here, improved hunting. If you get improved hunting 1, they can hunt for more rare animal parts like the wolf claws and stag's pelts and bear pelts and so on and so forth. And hunting 2 will give the boar tusks, buffalo horns, stag horns, and bear claws. The importance of those is when it comes to upgrading your camps. And this is the main reason why I wanted to feed items in here from the feeder camp, is to show you how upgrading the camps work. So right now, this camp is decent. Like, it's not bad. It can have, if you look up here, it can have 8 warriors total living and working in this camp. However, if you upgrade the camp, that total amount will increase each time that you upgrade the camp. You do that by having the items that it requires to upgrade the camp in the camp's inventory. Not your inventory, but the camp's inventory. So this in particular camp will require boar tusks, stag pelts, and buffalo pelts to upgrade. And you can see on the numbers there, so it'd take 20 boar tusks, 20 stag's pelts, and 5 buffalo pelts to be able to upgrade this particular camp. We're going to go ahead and hit that. So this will upgrade the camp, and you can actually see visual modifications of the camp itself. Each time that you upgrade it, your camp will expand out and you'll have more things there. So again, it's important to upgrade your camps. Now you can see the total amount of warriors that can be here is 15. If I was to upgrade it again using buffalo horns, stag horns, and buffalo pelts, that's going to increase it even further. So sometimes when you choose your name at the beginning of the game, you will start off with a camp that has the maximum level. The maximum level camps can hold 30 warriors. Now you're going to see right now it still says it's 15, but once it updates a little bit in the game, that'll increase, and I believe it would increase to 25 at this point. It's either 20 or 25. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade again. We're just going to kind of make this a maximum level camp here at the beginning, just again to work with things and show you how things work. So, and again, it's still showing 15, but that's going to change as things go. So if we do it one more time, it's going to take bear pelts, bear claws, and buffalo pelts. Also, you notice that there's a social tab up there in the top right of your inventory area right here. Now you see I cannot upgrade the camp any further. It is already upgraded to the maximum level that a camp can be. It will store 30 warriors, and again, it hasn't updated yet, but it will. Maybe it'll do it now. Yeah, there we go. So it can have up to 30 warriors living in this camp at any given time. The social tab is important. As you play the game, as you intimidate enemies or kill enemies, you're going to get skill points that are not only added to your character up here in the top right, but it's also added here into the social inventory. That's because the game, while it is not a multiplayer game, has multiplayer aspects to it in the fact that you can trade items with other chiefs who are also playing the game. So other players can come into the social area, they can go to the trading window and they can sell or buy items that their resistances have gathered. And every item that's available in the game is also available for sale here in the trading window. So the way that you buy items is through trading tokens. Right now, this in my social window, I have 19,000 trading tokens. You can sell items to other players to get trading tokens, or you can just simply play the game and defeat enemies, and that will give you trading tokens as well. So you can, even if you are a new player, when you start the game, you start off with some trading tokens and some skill points in your social window here. And you can give yourself, again, that little bit of a head start by buying items from other people to help you get an upgrade going on your camps there at the beginning. Again, just to sort of give yourself a hand up. So when you play the game and you see other enemies that are in the game, a lot of times those enemies are actually actually will have the names of the other chiefs that are playing the game, not even at the same time as you, but their names are added into the list of available names to work with in the game. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get ourselves a little bit going here. So we've got this this group of wood gatherers here, and I think if I'm seeing correctly, that's actually going to be a group that is just wandering around. It's not an actual camp, I don't think, but we'll see when we get there. So let me find our hearse. There's Liana. So come on, Liana, let's go take a ride here, and we're going to and by the way, I right clicked on the icon there to set a waypoint. You can see up on the compass there that the waypoint now is showing us that this is the direction we need to go. It is a little dark. I do apologize for that, but I will say that sometimes the game is stealth based. So sometimes it is not a bad idea to go to the encampments at night, because you can do a greater amount of sneaking around and that sort of thing to, well, not die as often. So let me see if I can make it down here without hurting my horse. I think I can get there. Nope, well, we got hurt a little bit, but that's okay. Not too big of a deal. So yeah, we started out this camp that we started with definitely is a rocky area. So yeah, the game map is essentially, it's the same size every time that you play it, but the game has a seed when you start off, and the seed you can randomize to be whatever you want, and that will actually change all of the terrain and everything every time that you start the game. So let's go ahead and hop off the horse here. As you can see right there in the top corner, a warrior has just joined our resistance. They have added themselves to our main camp there. So as soon as they join, they will basically go ahead and start working on that set of orders that I had given them. Right now, I do believe they're working on, let's see, the arrows are done. What would they be working on at this point? I'm not sure. Oh, probably wood. Gathering wood or gathering sinew. Anyways, so, in fact, I can hover over them. Yeah, they're gathering sinew right now. So, yeah. Anyways, so we have come upon this camp of wood gatherers here, and yeah, it's a bit of a big place here, isn't it? So I haven't seen any of them yet, but I know that they're here. Let's see, we'll kind of sneak around a little bit and see what we have going on. There's a bit of a bush area right here, tall grass that I can maybe go into and work with. So, yeah. Okay. So, if you hold down the E key, you're going to see different skills that you have available. Now, because of the name that I gave myself, I started off with the spyglass, which is actually a really nice one to have. If you hold down G, you'll use whatever skill you had chosen. So I'm going to hold down G and I'm going to use the spyglass and see if I can maybe spot any of them and mark them on. Yeah, I can mark them as being enemies. Now you see that he has a red star above his head. That actually means that that guy right there is the boss of the camp. So he's going to be more difficult. He's going to have more hit points. And he's also going to have a higher detection ability than the average Joe will. So let me see if I can get anybody else spotted here. There's usually, it's random how many people are going to be at one of these camps, and it also is dependent on the type of camp that it is. You can find forts, you can find these gatherer camps, you can find, well, a lot of different things. They have a lot of different ones that are set up in the game. And each of them is going to have their own things. So the boss right now is talking there. So it's just kind of random chatter that they do. So I have a feeling that some of them are going to be actually sleeping in the buildings here. So we might have a little bit more of a difficult time getting them to come out. Yeah, see, I hear that guy walking. I don't know. Maybe we can get up there and grab him and intimidate him and be able to get some information out of him. Yeah, see, now that white bar right there shows that his he's kind of detecting my presence a little bit, so we got to be a little careful here.
The enemy!
Okay, we got him grabbed
No.
before he had a chance to really get anything out
don't
there.
hurt me.
Okay, so
Enemy
I'm gonna
spotted.
grab him. Oh, yep, we got
Get
spotted.
ready. They're here.
We're gonna run. I grabbed him. Yep, there's another one right there. So I grabbed him,
need
and
to
we're just gonna
reload.
run until we run out of stamina. And now we're gonna hide in a
get
bush and
Here
hopefully
they
not
are.
get spotted. So I'm gonna drop him. I'm gonna loot him, and we're gonna intimidate him really quickly, so that we can get him out of the way. So when you intimidate them, again, you're going to kind of get them a little high, spread some herbs on them, and that will basically put them out of commission
Not sure.
forever. So Mr. Boniface Grover guy is now out of the game. Okay, we got spotted by this guy, so we got to take him down a little bit before we can
What do you
grab him.
see?
There, got him. I got him low enough health to be able to grab him.
Please
And
just let
thankfully
me
he
go.
did not really hit us very hard, so that's good. Alright, so we're going to drag him into the bush here. We're going to drop him. Gonna loot him just to get his stuff out of the way. And we'll go ahead and intimidate him as well. So Crazy Horse is going to be sent to the woods and away. And you can see we gained 115 skill points and some reputation out of that. So yeah. Alright, so let me go ahead and bring the spyglass up here again and see if we can spot anybody else. I didn't notice that guy was standing over there when we grabbed the boss guy. That was kind of my bad, but thankfully it did not go as badly as it could have. Yeah, okay, so there is another one that's over here. Oh, yep, right there he is, actually. That'll work. Okay, so we've got him marked now. That's good. You can go into first-person perspective. It does make getting through the bushes a little bit easier sometimes. And it makes spotting these things a little easier. Not by much, but a little bit easier. Okay. So, I'm going to hold down the 1 key. And as you can see now, we see the Palmer repeater and the Saxon that we had just looted from those two guys, as well as my ancestor's bow. So we're going to click the ancestor's bow so that that one is the weapon that we are using. And you can see that this ancestor's bow can use a lot of different ammo types, but right now we have arrows and we have stun arrows. So I'm going to choose stun arrows because I'd rather get these guys intimidated than kill them, because again, I'm trying to go with a clean reputation. Right now I can tell he's a little bit too far away from me to be able to shoot with the bow. So I'm going to try a little trick. We've got the stone, and I'm going to try to get his attention by throwing a stone in his direction and see if I can get him to approach without having to come upon him. So, no, he was a little too far away, I think, for the stone to work. Let me try that again. Nope, he's not interested. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to get a little bit closer without getting detected if we can. The faster you move, the more easily you can be detected. I'm going to switch the camera side so that I'm shooting from this way. And I'm going to go ahead and try to give him a headshot here to knock him out. Oop, nope, missed. Unfortunately, with starting off the game like this, your bow skills are pretty terrible. Okay, so he is knocked out. So we're going to go ahead and approach him. And I don't see anybody like in the immediate area, so I think we can go ahead and get the intimidation done without having to drag him away. So the Legend Fox, you're going down, brother. I'm sorry, but you got to get off my land. There we go. Okay, so you see up at the top, yep, burn, the wood gatherers vanished. So there was actually only 3 guys here. So it says that it vanished, even though it's still here. The way the game works is that this camp will remain here until I destroy it, or until it gets refilled again by enemies eventually. So we're going to run around here. Since they're wood gatherers, I don't know what for loot they're going to have. I don't know. Maybe they won't have very much, but we can kind of take a look around. Yeah, that loot box is empty. A lot of times with these, the gatherer type of camps that are like this, the loot is not populated. It's all going to be showing as empty. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's intentional, but either way, I'm looking just in case, but either way, I've never seen a gatherer camp actually have any items in it. So, yeah. So, okay. And again, with the way the camps work, you can destroy the camp. Okay, so this shows that this has loot, but this right here is the buggy that they rode in on. So sounds a little strange, but this is what they rode in on. So this actually has the loot that they had carried with them to get to this camp. So it has 15 supplies. It has a weapon blueprint, which I'll go ahead and take. So that meant we learned how to make a regular Smith & Russell pistol pattern 3. Not bad. Not bad. So we can go ahead and take those. And the supplies are pretty heavy. Do I have enough? Yeah, I got enough. I could take all of them. So we'll go ahead and take the supplies as well. Now, we have this camp that's pretty close by. And actually, as you can see, now that we've revealed a little bit more of the map, this right here is a neutral camp that we could go over and perhaps get to join us as well. I don't know if they will or not. My reputation is not very high right now. You can also see we have an objective that's there. That would be the needing to go and investigate the other warrior who came to talk to us, investigate the camp there. But anyways, we could take this wagon by mounting it. We could take this to our camp over here. and break it down for the supplies. The supplies will get added to our camp. So I think I'll go ahead and try that. I don't know if I'll be able to because it's so rocky. And it might just flat out destroy this wagon trying to get to it. That is a tree, Ira. You want to avoid that tree. Yes, thank you. So I don't know actually if I'll be able to get this wagon over there because it is pretty rocky. But we can give it our best shot. Let's see what happens. And our horse, Liana, will be waiting there at that camp again for us. And so we can either run back and grab her, or another option is for us to fast travel somewhere and be able to... she'll basically spawn beside us when we fast travel to a different location. I don't think I actually have any fast travel locations open yet to be able to do that with, but we'll try to get it with this eventually here. It's a little dark, a little on the dark side for me to be able to see very well. And yeah, here we go. Yeah, we got it to the camp. So we'll go ahead and dismount here. And as you can see now, one of the options is to hold Z to disassemble it. We'll go ahead and do that, and all the items that made up that have now been added to our camp, and the two horses have now become our horses. So, yeah, pretty nice. We'll go ahead and save the game here real quick. It's a good idea in this game to do the old adage, save and save often. It's just... the game is honestly not that buggy. I think maybe in the whole time that I've owned it, I've crashed once, maybe twice. But, you know, I'm kind of an old school gamer, so for me it's always a good idea to save and save often. It's just kind of one of those things. But I do think that this will be a good spot to go ahead and stop for the day. And we can come back and take on the Legend of Kana again on another day. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed this gameplay, and that you will come back again to join in with us again soon. I do, you know, actually real quick, I want to mention too, there is some controversy regarding this game because it is about a culture, and it's actually my culture. I am, for those of you guys unaware, I am Native American. I'm Miamiaki, Miami. And there's some controversy because the game is about Native Americans, and some people think that there's disrespect that's going on with it for the fact that it's a bunch of white people making a Native American game, and that they're not even American. I mean, it's a lot of things with it. One of the things that I've run across is people speaking about how they didn't contact any of the tribes or anything like that to get their input regarding the game and what goes on with it. And there's other talk about appropriation and that kind of thing. And quite frankly, a lot of it is from guilty white people. To be flat out honest, it's from people who are carrying a lot of white guilt. I have not heard from one other Native American person who has any kind of issue with the fact that this game exists. And in fact, the ones that I've talked to about it that have played it have actually thoroughly enjoyed the gameplay and the idea behind it, that you are trying to simply get these settlers off of your land, and sometimes it's by any means necessary. So I kind of wanted to touch on it a little bit. I don't have a problem with it myself. If there are others of my brothers who do have issues with it, I have not really heard anything about it. And again, quite frankly, I'm not necessarily flattered, but I'm not offended by them creating a game like this that has a level of respect to it, to the actual struggles that have taken place over the decades, the centuries, really, regarding my people and white people. I don't think there's any disrespect in any kind of way intended, and I don't think that there's any disrespect as a part of it either. So I don't have a problem playing it. I don't know anybody else in my community that has any issues playing it. And again, I've not heard anybody really ever speak about the fact that they're upset that it was made or anything along those lines. So, just kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit before anybody really comes in and tries to crow about it, because it does happen. But in the meantime, I guess we'll just enjoy the game for what it is, and hope that you guys will join us next time. If you are interested, I am an author and I do write books. If you are interested in checking out any of my books, you can do so at my website, originalworlds.com. You can also find my books and other writings at bardicwritings.com as well. I have many of my stories actually created as audio form right here on this channel, and you guys can take a listen to it at your leisure. I hope that you guys will enjoy it. Until next time, keep safe out there, have fun, and we'll talk to you again later.